So now, I have a quick video. It's a bit quick, but it's something that that is in everybody's mind. In Kenya, we have this what they call cartels in the film industry. You've heard about the cartels. You've heard about this group of people who seem to have access to all the resources to do whatever. But I just want to address this briefly, because while these groupings exist, I actually find them to be quite weak and inconsequential. The people who are giving these people power is us. So, first of all, just to talk a bit about these groups and why we need to stop bowing down to groups of people who don't show the competence to run an industry. Now, if you look at across the world, this is not a new phenomenon. Now, groups of people have the similar interests, do meet, form groupings, and do business together, or whatever the case may be. Now, but when we are talking about like cartels per se, we are talking about elements of illegality and unfairness and injustice in that frame, in that business mind. They also do put their thumbs on the scale when it comes to who gets resources, who gets exposure, who does that. So in Kenya, we do have them, but they are mostly centered around television, because that's the easiest place to have access, because you can create a cartel where you're in the media house. You have your members, the acquisition managers, and all those people. You have those. Then out here you have those tenderpreneurs who get those deals to go and produce. Sometimes those tenderpreneurs are also actual producers. Sometimes also it's just people who get money and then they go out here and look for people to do the work. Where it really goes to hell is how they split the money, because sometimes you'll find a media house. I'm just giving you an arbitrary figure. I don't go say, oh, he said this is the money. No. Say you're given 500,000 per episode to do a series. What ends up getting into the producer's pocket will probably be 200,000, because the 300,000 has to go to grease the hands of the people in the media house and a few of their cohorts. So what we've found is that there's a very small pool of people that keep producing things. They've kind of stagnated the standards. You can look around. So they don't really try and dabble in film, because film is very unforgiving. And they can't hide behind their friends or their bad quality programming on television. They can't. They're bad scripts, they're bad acting. Like a lot of the Kenyan content, unfortunately, because it is basically, this is how it is created, it ends up being extremely basic. In fact, a lot of the times, if you guys didn't know, they pick scripts from like foreign soaps. For example, a lot of these soaps you see around, somebody has just picked a Filipino soap, a Mexican soap, whatever, an American soap, and just written that in Swahili. Yeah, because it is very bare minimum. Because the main thing is that the money must be made at all, and the very, very little must be invested in actually production. So that's why you'll see the same people producing the same things, the same small group of actors always getting the roles. That is the mentality that we have around. And as our cartel business doesn't help grow an industry. That's why we don't have a film industry. Because these cartels can't really produce a worthwhile product within cost to sell in the public. Because generally speaking, if they did, they would own film in Africa. That's my belief. Because Kenyan producers, Kenyan cartels have received hundreds and billions of shillings to do these things they do. But you will notice there's just maybe one or two other projects here and there that look okay, that are written well. Maybe you get one good actor who will carry the whole thing. Even if you give them a bad script, they just they push. So what we are finding, like what I personally find, that people have fear for people who really don't have that much effect in the economy. Because most of these cartel members, if they, for the amount of money that they've made over the years, they would own film in this country, but they can't own it because they're not producers, they're not creatives, they're entrepreneurs. The people just take money and go put it somewhere. That's why there's very little reinvestment into the film industry, because a lot of these people are just entrepreneurs. These cartel members are just entrepreneurs. So for me, I speak about them because I've been blacklisted in so many places. I don't give a damn. In fact, even when you're trying to get into those groupings, you find that they're really not, if you're really somebody who respects your work, respects honesty, respect earning an honest buck, you can't be those people. Because what happens when you get into that cycle is that you become as mediocre as they are. You stop working as hard because things are just coming to you. So if you look around us, that is what has happened. But what I would like guys to understand, these are not people to fear. This was either of them, they're just near where you are. If they get sick, they'll just ask for M-Pesa just like you. They don't have the millions to just take themselves to hospital. You see every single one of them are cartel members. They're just poor people who are pretending here. Maybe they make a little money here, they go spend, because they're not business people, so they don't reinvest, so they don't get money back. But hey, people fear them. Hata kuitia job. What do you mean hata kuitia job? They will, even if you kiss their ass, they wouldn't call you for the job. Because especially if you are competent. If you are competent, these cartel members won't want you around. Because after a while, you personally would realize you don't need them. So you'll go, and you've made money, you just go on with your work. And you won't need them around. So stop having fear of incompetence. The only thing they can do is point fingers and talk rubbish in their 2 offices. But they're just making the normal money for decades now. They have not become multi-millionaires. They have not, ni wasee tu hapa kama sisi. So stop fearing so-called cartel members. They are there, but it's because they are very weak. That's why they have to congregate. Very weak people. They cannot create something great. They can only try and pretend, and that's what is happening. So kama uko kwa cartel, wewe kwanza nyinyi mjue your days were numbered a long time ago. If you didn't have these preferential treatments, you guys have run down these media houses, you're feeding them trash, you and your cohorts in there. Naona vipindi nyenye mnapewa mfanye. Such rubbish. You're just plagiarizing works from all over the world. Shameful. But tuko hapa kudeal na nyinyi, and we won't deal with you to come to you or what. No. We'll just go do the business. Tupatane hapo kwa customer. Ama vipi? Peace. Subscribe and share.